G'day guys and welcome back to Jans_gaming for another Dokkan Battle video. So today's video going to be going through a bit of an interesting topic that has definitely been popping up on the timeline lately, and that is whether or not you should be switching to the JP version of the game. Have got a few notes down here of sort of why I think it could be a good idea for some, not for another. So yeah, I got my JP account up here. As you know, I am a global main. I do jump on my JP account and do missions and whatnot, do the dailies. But yeah, a lot of this is stemming from the fact that Global didn't get the Int, Cell, and AGL Gohan Easy A's while in a same time celebration. Was very, very disappointing. Obviously, this wasn't clearly communicated to us. All roads had pointed towards this being the exact same celebration on both sides, and this was all that was missing. So, understand why a lot of people are extremely disappointed in that. And then also combining with the fact that we do have the JP Annie starting in about a week's time. It's always an extremely hype period. JP obviously gets the reveal of all the anniversary units first, so a lot of people do look to either start an account or start playing their account that they already have a lot more. Like you can see, I've been working up to like nearly 1,000 stones here. So what I would firstly say is that if you are going to switch, now is definitely the time to do it. There is thousands, like I think last year you can go back check the videos, but when I started my JP account, I ended up with probably close to 3,000 stones for the whole celebration just on a new account, and that did allow that. I think I re-rolled once. The first account that I did get was a bit of a stinker, so I did jump in and re-roll again. We may as well just go to LRs here, which is there. But you can see this is the type of stuff that I ended up with from re-rolling. So I got my gods there sitting at 90% there. I got the Super Saiyan 4s there at 79%. You look at the other anniversary LRs. There you go, you were only at 55%, but you pull copies of UI Goku. The SSJ4s were both featured on banners. You've got the guaranteed LR tickets, so that lets you recuperate units like Janemba, UI Goku. Right, it's very easy during anniversary to sort of recuperate a lot of what you have done thus far, just because of sheer volume of stones that are handed out and tickets. And you've also got to consider that these are the best banners that have been available in the game. We're going to have both the anniversary units from last year, the new anniversary units. You got the gammas in there. These banners are absolutely insane. And another thing is that Global is extremely quiet at the moment. We've got Baton Battle, and that is literally about all that we have to do in this stage. So, I want to start it off the video just by going through the pros. I guess why you would want to move across to JP, and then possibly why you may not want to after that. So, firstly, you've got the hype. We're heading into anniversary. We've had the new unit reveals. They're I would say, two solid options. We've got the Spirit Bombs for the GT, and then the end of Z sort of Majin Buu saga. So definitely very hype. I would say that there is a very good chance that they will be 1 and 2 best units in the game. I'd be surprised if they're not. And I would imagine that they're also going to have really good teams as well. They're introducing new mechanics. That's just hype. Anything that new that comes to Dokkan just adds an extra string to the bow. It'll be very interesting to see their kits when they do come out. And that does flow on to the second point, is that JP's getting 99.9 of these first releases. It doesn't matter if it is anniversary, whether it's the Dokkan Fest the week after, Tanabata. There is a number of joint celebrations now where we have Saiyan Day, Heroes, and Worldwide together. There's just some examples, but in most situations, JP is always going to get that first release of a unit, and that is just going to provide so much hype if you are on the version. Not to mention that it also appears that 90% of their resources or their management team does go towards JP. If there's an issue on JP, it is fixed immediately. We don't get that luxury on Global like there was the issue where we weren't even able to do events last year and went on for like a week and we got a stone compensation. It's JP is far um, well ahead in terms of management of the game. They do also seem to have more campaigns. Just from the Twitter, yeah seem to be a lot more involved with their player base. I guess maybe might be a better way of stating it. And the only real reason that the cons of moving to JP is if you aren't new to the if you are new to the game, you're definitely going to struggle with the not being able to read Japanese. It is pretty difficult to navigate missions if you're not aware of leader skills and whatnot. I can see why people would have a hard time, really navigating the game. But if you are a sort of longer term player, you understand where such buttons are, sort of like flicking through here on the menu. You can see that this is the plushies. You go into the same thing. We get into Super Battle Road units further down the line. It's a lot easier if you do know just what you're dealing with based on having played the game for a while. But there is a couple of things that can combat that and stop that from being negative. We've got great sites like the Dokkan Wiki, Dokkan Info. There's a kabillion YouTube videos out there explaining missions or giving unit breakdowns that are really helpful. And even Twitter, when the data downloads come through, we get a lot of missions that are changed into, I guess, English, for lack of a better way to put that. And it does actually make this side of the game quite easy to understand, even if you are like myself and you cannot read Japanese. And other than that, there's not many negatives to it. You're going to lack from maybe tickets that are coming. But there's a lot of global exclusive tickets, whatnot. But I think the trade-off for having the hype and the well-managed games are definitely worth it on that front. In terms of global, like as I just mentioned, the pros do consist of the tickets. We do have foresight of units and what their kits are, and potentially wanting to save for a specific unit, say like the physical Kid Goku that is going to be coming up very soon on global. It is very handy on that front. You might see a unit like, for example, last year AGL Trunks, and you're like, nah, his kit's garbage. Not a fan of it. We're just going to skip him. Where on JP, you sort of don't know what's coming next, and while that can be a good thing, can also work to your detriment if you are more of a free-to-play or Dolphin player. If you go in on a banner like the AGL Trunks, and then bang, you've got someone like the, I don't know, Tech Cow and Cleaver, who weren't much better, to be honest. It probably wasn't a great example, but you could have a Carnival banner coming up next for all we know. So I think that side of the insight is definitely very good. Obviously, the fact that you are able to read and navigate the game in whatever language you do wish to play under does make it so much easier for newer players to be able to get through missions as well. You look at the cons though, and the cons are pretty hefty for global. I said we have foresight in terms of characters. What we definitely don't have is foresight in terms of the schedule. It gets thrown around crazily, honestly. I question whether they even have a set schedule sometimes. You look at Golden Freezer getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. We get him now when he came out in June. We got the Zamasu beforehand, which was good that they kept him with the Trunks and Vegeta banner, but it's just all over the shop. It's poorly managed. Like I mentioned previously, we get errors that or glitches that will appear in the game and they won't get fixed for a week or days, where JP, that's almost instant that they're going into a quick maintenance and they get a quick hot fix for it. And the main factor is that we're behind. As I mentioned, JP is getting 99% of the first release. Global, we're sitting behind. We're seeing the animations, we're seeing the videos on YouTube. They're getting hype. We're getting hype for it, and by the time the unit actually does end up coming to global, the hype's dead. Honestly, it does hurt to see, because these anniversary units are literally like 6 months away for us, which is almost a lifetime. There'll be so many units that come out in between then. It Yeah, it honestly makes it hard to, I guess, stay excited for units that you know aren't going to come for another half a year. Um, but on the positive, we do get tickets. So that's probably like the main draw that most people would say that they do stay on global for. Um, so with all that being said, hopefully that's given you some understanding as to what the pros and the cons of each version. I would say in final that if I was a free-to-play player or a Dolphin player, I honestly would move over to JP full time. I've just showed you guys before what I was able to accumulate just from playing during the like just having a really solid anniversary. But you can see here that I've continued to summon afterwards. I've got units like Raditz, I've got Cooler, like there is still, I've got Zamasu, I've got Broly. Like, it has been very easy to just log in, do a couple missions each day. And like, Great Ape Vegeta, I don't even think I mentioned before, but two dupes. Like, these are all really powerful teams that I've been able to put together just from playing last year's anniversary and logging in every day. Being free to play on this account and getting up to 1,000 stones. I can show you right now that there's still far more stones that I'm able to get to. So if I jump in, game's been quite slow at the moment. Scroll up those no easy A's. A lot of the missions I haven't even done the latest Super Dragon Ball history on JP. None of the collection of epic battles. Super Battle Road, I've done 6 of 86. So that there is honestly thousands of stones that are available. You can see I avoided the red zones, the Cell Maxes, because I did want to play them on my on my global main, and even easy A's like 5, 6, some of these too. Like, there is just so many stones available. As I mentioned, you can re-roll. If you're a free-to-play player, re-roll until you get both of the new units. Build up all of these stones so that you can continue something. Because all you need is one good team. I was able to get through all of those easy A's with the physical Super Saiyan 4s or the Gods team. So that it's just there to the base that you can build on your account can just be so much better than sort of dwindling away on an old free-to-play global account, honestly. You are going to lose a lot of the older characters that you do have, but how often do you use them, I would question. If you are looking to make an account where you are just able to power through content and just have the best units, I think this is definitely the way to go. But the thing is, some people are going to be like me. You've invested not only 1,000+ days into the account, but you've invested lots and lots of money. So for you guys, like myself, I know I'm personally just going to hold out. I'm going to continue playing global, and I'm going to have the side JP account as well. But I definitely recommend if you do play global, that you should get a side JP account. I've got a video on the channel of how to download it. It's super easy. All you need to do is log in like this every day myself. I use this to counter my summoning itch when I'm trying to save on my global account as well. So it is very productive in that sense, and in periods where global is dead. You've got this to play through today. Like, I could jump on now and play 100 SBR stages and build up that stone again for even more summons for the Annie. So there you go, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear if you're considering the switch up from global to JP. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to keep up with the content, and hopefully I'll catch you all on the next video.